What's up, it's Jang here from ultimaterc.com, and here we go with the build of the Axial EXO Terra Buggy. Now it has already been a bit of a trip getting to this point to just start off this build for a number of reasons, one of which being, well, I actually pre-ordered the thing not long after it was announced back in October of 2011, and then it got released and then it got recalled. Finally got released again. That has been an adventure of waiting, but I have the thing now, complete with dual factory sealed stickers on the box from where they opened it up and put it back together. Opening it up, once again we have all the way down at the bottom of the box, we have a bag of infinite bags inside of there. That's pretty crazy, but hopefully this will actually be a good thing if they ordered these parts well. And we've got a plastic parts number one, and then we've got a couple of extra inserts here. So this is where we start seeing what happened with the issue that caused the initial recall. Probably not officially called a recall, but they took all the product back and they changed them and they sent them back out. They've got one thing for step number 16 here. Looks like there's a spacer shim that needs to be added in, so I'll keep that in mind for later on when I get to there. And then read first revised steps 6 and 11. So steps 6, 11, and 16 have all been changed and require the use of different parts. And this right here is dealing with the assembly of the arms onto the diff housings and pivot blocks. They've got some new, wow, actually a lot thinner than I expected for the size of this vehicle. These pins, suspension pins, and they threw in a couple of these diff gears, bevel gears that I've heard through the grapevine on the internet that they gave you the wrong ones of these in some of the kits. And then more, these look like toe blocks. Yep. And also on there I get an extra assault rifle. So that's cool. Hey, free extra assault rifle. Always down with that. But with that said, I'm going to put these extra instructions roughly in their positions where they will show up in my manual back here, and start off with the first step of this build, which would be building the diffs. It's a logical place to start for a four-wheel drive vehicle. I just need to find the diff parts. So I'm going to do a cut here and come back after I found them. I'm back. Bag A. The bag of bags once again. But that's okay, because now I've got hopefully all the parts that I need to build at least one diff. Looks like two. And with the parts laid out, I'm going to do these one at a time. And they've got you assembling the cup side first. The EXO does use sealed gear diffs, and you do fill them up with silicone oil. They do give you some silicone oil, some 10,000 weight oil, and hopefully those will seal up nicely. Very thin O-rings are used around these outdrives, and all in all, I can give you a first impression right here. I know this is probably more stuff that should be covered in the review, but I'm surprised by how small all these parts are, and how relatively kind of weak they seem for the size of the vehicle. You know, I was really expecting this to be almost on the class of a 1/8 scale buggy, but it's really not looking so much like that. It's looking more like a pure 1/10 scale. These small little spider gears. Okay, and here comes one of my least favorite things in the world, and it's actually having to be dropped in there in one of my least favorite ways. I'm going to put an E-clip in there. I'm getting a pair of tweezers to do this. You have to set it down on top of that thing. You don't want it to fall to the side. Unfortunately, I've got a little bit of magnetism in this pair of tweezers. Quite the unsatisfactory experience. Quite not fun. See, these spider gears really just are not that beefy. All right, here we go. Time for some silicone oil. Let's put that in there. I'm just going to go ahead and start with what they recommend and what they give. This 10,000 weight, both for front and rear. Hopefully that'll work out okay. These being small diffs, if you're familiar with 1/8 scale buggies and their setups, you might think 10,000, that's quite a lot, you know, for something that's not a truggy. Well, again, these are not 1/8 scale diffs. These have much smaller gears in them. Incidentally, in the manual, it does give you part numbers for a heavy-duty bevel gear set. That's a replacement for this guy, which is a high-grade pot metal, I'd say, from the looks of it. And this E-clip is easy to place because it's exposed. It's not down there in a little cup. All right, there's that. And there are double O-rings on this side, just like on the other side, to help keep everything sealed up. Let's not forget this fiber washer here, paper washer. And together that goes with 4 little screws. And very easy to get to those because I'm only using parts from the bag that was already open, so that's very convenient. There we go. Definitely do not want to strip those out. They are small screws and it's a plastic housing. And that's a pretty nice looking little diff. I respect that. Lather, rinse, repeat. Front and rear. Here comes the main input gear. Blasted E-clip. Don't really have to worry about spilling that grease because it's thick enough that it really doesn't like to run away on you.